54 days ago, Constance Marten went missing with her partner, Mark Gordon. They were both arrested last night in Brighton following a huge search to locate them. Why are they being looked for? Well, they were being looked for because Constance gave birth to a child. We don't know the sex of that child. That birth took place in the back of a car on the M61. Having given birth, they then left the car, burnt it, and went on the run. Now, you could say, well, why is that a problem? Well, it's a problem because that child, from that moment to date, has not received any medical care. Constance herself was known to children's services, and Mark Gordon, who is the individual with her, is a sex offender. He was jailed in the United States for 20 years for rape. So that is why the authorities are concerned for the welfare and safety of this child. Since their arrest in custody, they have not spoken. They have refused to say where the child is or give any indication of their well-being, and also refused to say whether the child is a male or female. That is something the police have been trying to identify since they found the car, because in the back of the car where Constance gave birth was the placenta of the child. That's gone off for analysis, and they're still waiting for the determination whether or not that child is male or female. There is a huge manhunt underway now, child hunt underway, to try and find this baby. And it is very much focused around the area where they were arrested last night. Now, we're going to go live to the scene. Andrew Gardner is reporting for Argos Live. He's going to talk to us about what's going on there. Some of you will have seen the photographs and the pictures on the TV because all the national newspapers and broadcasters are covering this. Andrew, let's go live to you. Andrew, what's the latest from the scene?
Hi, Mark. Yeah, so I'm in Hollingdean at the moment, where the whole area of woodland and allotments has been a hive of police activity. As you can see behind me, there are several police vehicles from both Sussex Police and the Metropolitan Police, who are all searching and scouring every last square inch of the area in the hope of finding the child.
Thank you, Andrew. Let's just get an update in relation to the police search. So earlier on today, the police officer leading the hunt was spoken to. Let's just play that clip.
So shortly after 9:30 last night, Constance and Mark were located by a member of the public who subsequently dialed 999 following observing them and seeing the images in the national news. Sussex Police arrived in the locality we are now and detained the couple. Unfortunately, at that time, the baby was not present, and at this time, we now are working on an open land search in the area to locate the baby. Yeah.
Andrew, just give me a sense of the topography there. What are they searching? They're searching some land, which I think is a golf course, but there's also some allotments there they're searching.
That's right. So for the last couple of hours, the police have been searching the allotments, which are fairly large, I would say, probably about a mile in length, really. And there's been a line of police officers there searching, systematically going through every single allotment, shed, bucket, tipping everything upside down in the hope of finding the child. In terms of obviously where we are in Brighton, we're sort of in the north end of the city, in a valley. We're surrounded by trees and hills on either side. And it really does back on to Stanmer Park and the South Downs National Park and beyond.
Now, we understand they've been sleeping rough. That's the information that's being given to us by the police. It was very cold last night in Brighton, wasn't it, Andrew?
It was freezing. I mean, the last few nights have been particularly cold. And in fact, most of the time they've been missing, and since they were last seen in Newhaven, it's been very, very, very cold overnight.
So we know that they've travelled from north. They were on the M61 where their car they set fire to after giving birth. Following 54 days, they've moved around. They've ended up now in the south coast. There was that sighting in Newhaven. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so they were spotted in Newhaven on January 8th by a CCTV camera just near the pool. There was a very small speck in the image. And then shortly after, they were spotted again on that same night on a road that led up to the South Downs National Park, and they were seen walking up that road, and that was the last we'd seen of them in Sussex until obviously last night, just before 9:30 p.m.